Okay, 7th graders, this is The War Moves West and South, Input 14 for Chapter 6, Section 3. So the war in the West, was between the Native Americans, who were fighting on both sides. Many of them fought with the British because the natives felt that the British were less of a threat than the colonists. And as we see as we move through history, they were kind of right. Vincennes, a frontier settlement. The colonists were able to gain a victory against the British at Vincennes, a much-needed victory. Privateers or pirates would take American vessels and capture or destroy British vessels as they tried to come to the colonies. John Paul Jones was a naval officer who fought bravely and uttered the words, "I have not yet begun to fight." Jones's ship sank after the victory, but he became a legend for those famous words. Southern struggles. British victories. General Henry Clinton won victories in Savannah and Charlestown. Guerrilla warfare was a new type of battle tactic. Francis Marion, also known as the Swamp Fox, used fast fighting techniques, jumping out of the bushes and brush to attack the British troops. Colonists were losing, and Washington needed more soldiers. He begged for soldiers, asked Congress to enlist freed slaves. White Southerners did not like the idea of giving freed slaves guns, and I can't imagine why not. 1778, though, Rhode Island, an all African American regiment was created. The white Southerners, who liked their idea of having the slaves as workers on the plantation, did not want slave uprisings to take place during the Revolution or after the Revolution. So we have here a famous quote, "I have not yet begun to fight," by John Paul Jones, celebrating the U.S. bicentennial as a stamp. Here's another picture of militiamen hiding from the British behind trees and attacking them without warning. And then a map of the Battle of Yorktown, which will become way more important as we move on and you're reading through Chapter 6, Section 3 and 4. You see how it all came together. So, a three-pronged attack, all leading to an attack on Albany, was what the British were planning. So the British captured Philadelphia in 1777, capital of the colonies. General Burgoyne, British general that was very vain, traveled through with many luxuries through the forests. The Green Mountain Boys attacked the Redcoats that were easy to spot in the woods. Saratoga, October 17, 1777, as Yankee Doodle played, 5,700 British soldiers surrendered at Saratoga, New York. So, moving on to Input 15, the war is won. Yorktown, Virginia, July 1780, French ship showed up off the coast of Rhode Island. General Comte de Rochambeau, crowds greeted the French when they see this general and his ships. The British fleet showed up shortly afterwards and trapped the French in Rhode Island for some time. Washington decided to attack General Cornwallis at Yorktown, and he kept this mission a secret. He and Rochambeau marched from New York to the south in secret. The French kept Cornwallis from retreating, and 14,000 American and French troops defeated General Cornwallis. Independence, Paris, France, location of the treaty talks. Ben Franklin, John Adams, and John Jay represented the now United States of America. The United States were recognized by the British as an independent nation, and all lands of the Mississippi, east of the Mississippi and north of Florida was given to the United States. The British, though, were allowed to collect debts owned by Americans. On September 3rd, 1783, a Treaty of Paris is signed. So Washington's farewell from military service. At the Second Continental Congress, all the spectators wept, not a dry eye in the house. So why did America win? Fought on their homeland. New local terrain, ambushed the British troops. Allies, the French and the Spanish. The support of the citizens. We may be beaten by the English, but here in his army they will never conquer. George Washington said these words as he was leaving New York City. And the American Revolution led to the French Revolution, the Caribbean Revolutions. And all men are created equal. This thought has spread throughout the world and been embraced by many different countries and cultures. And here's a map of what the North American continent looked like after the American Revolution. We see the United States of America with the border of the Mississippi River north of Florida, and we know that this is going to change very quickly. So make sure you do your input and your output and have them ready for class on Block Day Tuesday. Thank you.